All right, welcome back to another Monday night Storm King's Thunder. We're back from last week's episode. If you missed any of the action, you can go ahead and check it out up on YouTube, or you can also check it out on the VODs on twitch.tv/SirLucien, or in YouTube, you can do youtube.com/SirLucien, all one word, Lucien. Lots of people use AN, but I use IEN. And you can check them out there. So we're going to just jump right in. As you can see, our players are still at Xantharl's Keep. A little recap from last week. They had traveled there in their airship to kind of stop off and look for a dwarf who goes by the name of the Weevil. It was on a wanted poster, and it was something they had heard about from another NPC earlier in the adventure. They were hoping to maybe capture this person and turn him in for the ransom, which was a 5,000 gold piece ransom on a bounty. Though I think they started pretty strong. Everything went quickly off the rails once alcohol was introduced, and we find ourselves with one party member in jail, one party member running for his life to the south, for his life down to the south and passing out in the fields. We have 3 of the party members are still in the inn, not quite sure what's happened, but they know something's gone wrong. And so we have the classic party split conundrum that everybody says, don't split your party. And that's pretty much where we're at. If you want to see how all of that unfolded, I definitely recommend going back and rewatching it because it was a pretty funny episode. But we're going to jump right back in, and we're going to swing our cameras in. Let's get this going right. So let's get that and that. And so our camera will swing in. Let's bring that down a little bit, I think. There we go. To a cold, windy, wintry, pitch black night with a dwarf wrapped in his cloak out on the grasslands. It is probably 3 or 4 in the morning as you're staring up at the sky, slightly tipsy, probably, but has quickly starting to sober up. You feel like the buzz is finally leaving you. And I think that's where we will open our session up with, let's hear a little bit about what Greybeard's thinking or about to do or going to do here, laying out in this grassy field.
So, coming down off the pixie dust, many mugs of ale, buzz, he's probably laying there in the snow. And the last he knew is that they were taking Rexton into custody. So I guess Greybeard will say something like, "Oh, crags and crevices," and thump the earth and get up and start walking back, hoping to get back to the keep by about dawn, so that he doesn't just suddenly appear. And he's gonna, hopefully, if he can get close enough, like stealth his way in to talk to his friends first, he will. If not, he's going to turn himself in at the keep.
Okay. So our camera will spin away from our dwarf, who begins to kind of trudge his way back, and we'll move it around to our Rexton, who happens to be in a fairly comfortable cell. They've placed you in, although it is a locked door cell, the bed does not appear to be too terrible. It doesn't even feel like you're in a dungeon. It feels like you're more just in a secured room. And as the camera kind of zooms into there, what do we see? What's Rexton doing to pass the time, as it is probably the same exact time, probably about 3 in the morning at this point inside the keep?
Rex is just lying in bed with his hands crossed behind his head, just staring at the ceiling, thinking to himself, well, if I'm gonna die, this isn't too bad.
Awesome. Every now and then you hear the boot clomps outside the room, so it's obviously there's a watch that moves up and down the hallways. You can see they have a torch of some sort as the light kind of comes in from under the door, but then it kind of slowly fades away also. They've not left you any light in the room, though it is warm in the keep, and the bed is definitely comfortable enough for you to relax while you wait to see what happens. Do you think you'll sleep? You'll get a rest?
Yeah, I'd probably fall asleep.
All right. So you'll get your long rest. Not that you need it, but once wake up in the morning. You do hear the keep does sound like there's a lot of things going on still, so it's obvious that the keep is kind of on red alert as far as people moving about, and there's noises here and there, but nothing that would keep you up at this point. And then
as I fall asleep, I snicker a little bit at what Greybeard had said as he jumped off the ledge. The evil strikes again.
Yep, and our camera will fade away from the room. It will make a dizzying 360 move and then find itself at the tavern where the 3 remaining members of our party, after having their rooms searched and the guards basically mentioning that they were looking for somebody, but when asked any specific questions, they were not forthcoming with any details and mostly told any of the looky-loos or the curious to mind their own business as they went about searching the entire inn and then leaving. And our camera kind of sets in on our bard and our druid at that point in their rooms. What is the group in the inn doing?
Well, without any other information, Edrim just goes back to sleep.
Okay.
Same here. I had managed to drink a little bit more than I usually do on most of these evenings, so fell off to sleep quickly.
All right. So both of you will get your rest also. Poor Greybeard traveling throughout the entire night. No rest for you.
No.
You will be tired. So let us skip ahead till morning time. You can see that just before dawn, Greybeard, as you're approaching the town again, that you see torches kind of moving all about. A lot of activity still, even at this point, even though sun's about to come up, still cold. Go ahead and you can make a constitution. Did we already do that for you?
Yes.
We did a 23. That's right. Okay, we did that to make sure you didn't have any exhaustion. Okay. So you see torches. You probably have 20 to 30 minutes, you're guessing, before the sun rises. And it seems like the town looks a little more active than you thought it would.
All right. I'm still going to try to get as close to the keep as I can before I reveal myself. And then, when the jig is up, I walk right out. I don't, no, I want to try to get a hold of my friends in the inn. Does it seem like I can stealth in there or no? I mean, just
yeah, it doesn't seem like there's any guards on the doors. You certainly could try to sneak from shadow to shadow, from space to space to see. You could do a stealth roll to see.
All right,
how well you can
do. I'm gonna use my inspiration.
Okay.
So uncheck that and go.
Yeah, so you're able to move from building wall, and then you kind of lean up against the back of the wall as a guard goes by, looking down a different alleyway than you are. Then you bolt from one barrel to another. Your smaller stature allowing you to hide behind plenty of things that are outside different buildings. And you make it to the front door of the keep, and you're able to decide if you want to make a bolt for the door or if you want to try to find a different way into the inn.
I'll bolt for the door. I don't want to take to scrapping with the ogress.
Yeah. Yeah, so you open the door and you're pretty sure you weren't seen as you just kind of wait for eyes to be looking in different places. And just as we start to see the sky lighten up as the sun is getting closer to actually peeking up over the horizon, you're able to slide yourself into the door, slide it shut nice and quiet, turning to see that for the first time in this evening, you're warm again from kind of the inn, and the fire has been stoked, and you can smell the morning breakfast is being cooked. Definitely smells like bacons and some type of porridge or like a grits or something like that is bubbling and cooking, and the smells are wafting up. You do see the half ogre sitting behind the counter, who gives you kind of an eye raise as you come in, but says nothing.
All right. As I swing by, I'll say something like, "I might be going away for a while, dollface. Here's a little something to remember me by." And I'll throw 10 gold on the counter.
Okay. Yeah, she keeps continuing to clean mugs and plates and different things, and has kept quiet, and kind of watches you as you go up to the stairs to where the rooms are.
All right. And then that's when Greybeard realizes he doesn't know which room anybody's in, because they didn't go up with them at all last night. So I'll guess I'll rapidly tap on a door, and I'll be like, Jarral.
Has Jarral showed up yet? Oh, so you're actually knocking on Spammy's door then.
All right. Okay.
So Spammy, on the outside of your door, you're hearing a knock, and you're hearing the name Jarral being called out.
I get up and open the door.
Yeah. You see your...
Greybeard, I didn't expect to see you outside my door.
Hey, Edrim. So Rexton and I got into some, into our cups last night and got into a bit of situation. Where's the other guys?
I will point out the other doors.
All right. I'll, rapidly tap on them.
Yeah, okay. So yeah, everybody comes out into the hallway then.
And I'll shuffle them into whatever the last guy to open his door room was. And I'll appraise them of the situation, Greybeard style. And then I'll be like, "So, I hope the local lord's a forgiving type. I assume I'm gonna go and turn myself in. Say, pixie dust, cups, lots of drinking, dumb, and throw myself on his mercy, because we're heroes."
The group has stunned silence.
I know, I'm just
gonna bury my head in the table and just shake it back and forth and go, no.
I want you guys to keep a hold of a couple things, because I wouldn't want my stuff to rot in prison.
So I'll look at Greybeard and ask, how exactly do you think turning yourself in is going to fix any of this?
Well, I can't just let Rex rot in prison.
Well, I'm not recommending that, but I'm also saying, how is you going in prison with him going to help?
I don't know. I was hoping that maybe by turning myself...
Then we would just have 2 party members in prison.
Well, then how are we going to get Rexton out? I mean, sure, we could probably punch our way in. but these are good folks, and we just don't want to go about killing the local law.
We could offer part of the bounty and get the guard captain on our side.
That's pretty good thinking. So, would one of you want to go parlay that situation?
Well, I can always go with Edrim, and we could try to attempt that one.
All right, I'll sleep under this bed for a while then.
All right, so we see. Is that what's happening then? Is Ardreth and Edrim gonna head over to the keep?
Unless there's an objection. And I didn't hear anything, so.
Nope, no objection from me. I'm all about that idea.
I don't think Rex can object to you guys. He can't hear you.
No, I'm not there.
All right, go for it.
All right, so you guys head down the stairs of the inn. So Greybeard's going to stay in Edrim's room.
Okay.
Is that
Yep.
what I'm hearing? That's a
Yep,
question.
yep.
Sorry.
Yeah. I'm gonna try to rest a bit under the bed.
Okay.
Just
We'll say Jarral stays there to watch over you. And
Okay.
then we see our bard and our druid kind of head out to the keep. So as you guys get outside, it's definitely a brisk morning. The sun has just risen. Though when you pass down the main room of the inn, you can smell bacon and breakfast cooking, and it's nice and warm. You see the half-ogre behind the bar cleaning and getting things ready. You start to see some of the townsfolk have started to come in, so you see a few of the tables have people in them. And as you're walking by, you see several of them kind of eyeing you suspiciously, or maybe with a little bit of attitude as you're strangers, and most likely the cause of the commotion in the town. But other than that, nobody says anything to you as you guys walk out and you start to head up to the keep. And you can see plenty of soldiers around. In fact, you're guessing there's probably a couple of units of soldiers that are moving about the town, looking around. Probably groups of 6 or 7, and you've seen a couple of different ones. You're pretty sure there's quite a few soldiers that are stationed in this garrison. As you get to the front gate, there are several guards in front of it, but it's not closed, so the main doors are open. The portcullis is up with a guard, which somebody kind of looks like a guard captain or a watch captain, standing at the front with a few other guards. And as they see you approach, he gives you a head nod and says, "What business do you have at the keep?"
I will defer to Ardreth, being the more personable of the two of us.
Oh, yes, because it was so good the last time I was at the gate. So I will look at the guard and say, we understand that a friend of ours may have ended up here in jail last night, and we're looking to find his whereabouts.
Says, describe your friend. What does he look like? What was he wearing?
Oh, now you ask me that question.
Well, you're able to say if you just want to describe
yes.
Rex. That's fine. Yeah.
And yes, so I will do my best to describe Rex based on trying to find the last picture that I actually have of the man. Someone's sending me one now.
Yeah, he says, so a friend of the interloper then. Well, let me show you in to the Lord. I'm sure he'll want to speak with you. And then they escort you. He has a couple of guards escort you to the front of the keep. And then there you see 2 of the guards kind of hold their hands out with the universal symbol of hand your weapons over.
I would have left mine in my room.
Okay. Yeah, so we see Edrim just kind of hold his hands out. He doesn't have any weapons, and they
hand
kind of
mine.
wave you by.
I will hand mine over to him.
Yeah. You see them walk over, and near the gate is like a kind of a weapons rack, and there's a couple guards that stand right next to it, and they put your weapons in the rack, and then they escort you in. And you can go through a courtyard, which is a pretty decent-sized courtyard with stables and barracks and a small shrine, like temple, maybe a small one-room kind of temple. You see a medium-sized keep, and that's where they bring you up to. And they walk you into the main structure. They have you wait as one of the guards goes off to one of the hallways. And you're there for a few minutes as you're looking around. It's a pretty utilitarian keep. It looks like it's very military, very defensible as you're looking at it. Definitely not decorated to be opulent in any way. It looks more ready for battle or ready to stand against whatever hordes might come out of the forests and come from the north versus, some type of chalet or summer home or anything like that. And then you're summoned to down a hallway and then to another room, and you come into a main room that has a large chair, and sitting in it is a human dressed in noble's clothes as they bring you forward, and they introduce, you see the guards bow, and the watch captain bows to him and says, Lord Craven, or Lord Carven, it seems we have two of the companions of the interloper Rex have shown up at the gates. And he bows to the Lord, and the Lord kind of gives like a dismissing kind of gesture, and those guards take up kind of spaces in the back of the room. And he kind of looks to... so, Ardreth, you are half-elf?
Yes.
And then Edrim is human.
Yep.
He probably would just address you both at that point. I don't think he would differentiate. And says, so it seems your friend decided to climb our walls, decided to spin some crazy tale of chasing a dwarf, the very one that jumped off our wall and then ran out into the night. Though we've not found him yet, I would like to know what exactly it is you and your companions are here trying to accomplish.
Well, Lord, honesty, I think, is the best place to go from here. And all I can say is that our two friends unfortunately had far too much to drink last evening. We came to town looking for a dwarf that has a bounty on his head that we understand may be working in your kitchen. And rather than coming to you up front as we had recommended, they decided that drunken stupor and crawling across your wall was a far better way to go. So we're here to apologize for our friend's actions, call upon your mercy, and hope that perhaps you'll allow us to pursue this gentle who's taken up habitation in your kitchen and is sullying your name by having a criminal work inside there, and allow us to pursue and take him in for justice.
Yeah, so that sounded super awesome. Let's see how well you did with a persuasion roll, and you can have advantage to make the roll.
Before he makes the roll, as he begins his speech, I reach out and touch him on the shoulder, and I will use the guidance cantrip. So he can roll an extra d4 and add a number.
Okay, yeah, so go ahead and put that in chat so we can see it. Yeah, and you actually get to roll a second persuasion, and you'll take the highest of the two, Ardreth. So roll one more persuasion. So 14 plus the 1 is 15.
Yep,
okay.
15.
Yeah, so he's he's like, well, finally, somebody willing to speak truth in this room. I must tell you, I was not pleased with being lied to in my keep, though I understand how the inebriated can be difficult. You really should keep better control of your companions while visiting a new town or a place that you are not familiar with. But one thing you say concerns me is that you believe there's a criminal working in my kitchen.
Yes, we've heard that there's a dwarf known by the name of the Warvel who's living in your kitchen at the current time and working there.
Well, it seems you've been misinformed, for we have not had any dwarves work within the keep. In fact, all of the occupants of this keep are human.
That then furthers the mystery of what we've heard. We've came here pursuing him. Perhaps you know of this Warvel and might know his whereabouts. Of course, it also increases our embarrassment at the fact that our companions, rather than reconnoitering first, decided to jump your gate, and for that, again, I must apologize.
Yeah, so he says, well, I thank you, Ardreth, for speaking the truth. Let me provide you with some sustenance, and I will have my men. And he kind of calls over to one of the guards that are standing up there too, and kind of, you hear him, not really whisper, but in a low voice, say, bring Rex. And so you see one of the guards goes off on a side room, and they bring some fruit juices, chilled fruit juices on platters and goblets, and bring them to you and Edrim. And he has you, there's like a seating area that's also there, and he has you sit while we wait for it to bring Rex. And he also asks, you hear him talk to another gentleman who's standing next to him, appears to be in priestly robes, and you hear him ask about, have we seen a dwarf? Am I mistaken? Is there a dwarf on the grounds? And the cleric is shaking his head, and he says, I will look into it, my lord. And you see him go off also. Our camera will swing over, and we'll pick up with Rex. The door opens, and they have you gather whatever clothing and stuff you had in the room that was what they left you with, and they're bringing you back over to the meeting hall. And there you see, as you walk in, escorted by 2 guards on either side, you see Ardreth and Edrim having a seat and sitting in the main room. And as you come in, and he says, well, here's your companion, Ardreth, and I would ask that from this point on, that you respect the laws of this land, and that you respect our hospitality, and that you don't just try to skulk around the keep. It would behoove you to treat those with respect that you wish to have respect from. And he kind of looks to Rex, and he's like, and maybe a couple less drinks the next time around, and that might save you a lot of your trouble. And he says, if I find out word of this person you are seeking, they will be dealt with, though I do not believe they reside anywhere within this keep or have reside, but I will get down to the bottom of it to be sure. And then he says, and if you're you may finish your refreshments, and then if you would be on your way. And then he kind of gets up, as he has apparently decided to end the audience, and then moves off as he's talking to other advisors that are walking with him.
And I thank him and tell him we appreciate his generousness and will definitely abide by the rules of his town while we stay.
Edrim remains silent, but he does bow on the way out.
Okay. And so, yeah, Rex, you're able to rejoin your companions who are there, and then the guards are just kind of standing there waiting for when you're ready to leave.
I'll remain silent until we actually leave.
And
Okay.
if none of the guards objects or hurries us along, I'm going to stop at the stables and kind of just wander through and examine the horses on the way through.
Yeah, they don't let you deviate at all.
Okay.
Yeah, the minute you kind of look like you move off to another building, a guard kind of taps you on the shoulder and just kind of waves you back to the front gate.
Okay.
And as you get to the front gate, that you're able to regather all of your items, Ardreth and Rex. All of your items have been returned to you. Nothing seems to be amiss, and you guys are now standing out in front of the keep in a cold, brisk morning with the sun shining up in this nice blue sky.
So
Edrim,
on our way
artist,
back, I look at Rex on our way back, and I expected this from Greybeard, but you, and just keep walking away.
I give him a look of disappointment in myself, and I just let him walk away.
All right, so where do you guys go?
Head back to the inn, I guess.
Yeah.
Okay.
When we listened to him, how much did he sound like his be on your way was a be out of town quickly, or was it a just
no,
keep-
you got the
keep good.
impression that he's given you a second chance, follow the rules. He didn't seem like he was angry. He didn't seem, he just seemed more like he was disappointed that somebody would attempt to do that when you could have just as easily asked, type thing. That was kind of the impression you
Gotcha.
got from him.
Okay.
But it wasn't that you guys get out of town or we'll hang you type thing. It wasn't anything like that.
Okay.
So you guys return to Edrim's room, and in there you see, I believe, Dwarf laying on your bed, Edrim, and then Jarral there as the door opens. Obviously a sleeping dwarf.
So where is am I in the same room as Greybeard, or am I just in the inn?
Yep, you're in Edrim's room with Greybeard.
Okay.
And then through the door comes Edrim, Ardreth, and Rex.
Time for breakfast?
Did you say Rextus or breakfast?
Breakfast.
Thought it was a new word.
Yes, I could eat. Watching this one is exhausting.
I would just like to apologize to the lot of you. I know it's not appropriate that Greybeard and I did that, and I am deeply sorry.
And once he starts going down that path, I'll look over at Jarral and wink for a minute, and act very dignified at this point, and say, "Well, just never let it happen again," and walk away from the table and snicker under my breath.
I am just surprised you were the one that was caught. And Jarl gets up and walks away.
All right, so everybody has a breakfast. You guys can, whoever's going to eat breakfast, it's just a silver if you want, bacon and the porridge and stuff that's being made.
Okay.
And then after that, what's the group's plan? What are you guys doing?
So are we still under? What is our? How are we seen with the town?
We found no evidence thus far of the Weevil here, and the Lord did say he had his robed clerk, priest, Castilian, or whatever, is gonna look into whether the Weevil ever worked in the keep. But I imagine we could look around town, like go to the stables and see about horses or whatever if we wanted them. But at this point, I would imagine we're going to get back in the airship and just go up to Mirabar and check there if we don't find any more clues, right?
I might be able to come up with an answer. I will be back shortly. And I go up to my room for, I don't know, about half an hour.
As as Edrim walks away, Jarral will just kind of raise an eyebrow and just comment to anybody who's paying attention. Well, that's strange.
It's probably some magic or something. Druids is like that.
Curious. Very well. I agree. We should check out the stables to see if we can get transport. If we can't find any indication of the Weevil in the town or in the keep, perhaps, as was suggested, perhaps we might find him in the nearby woods. And I think we would cover more ground with horses. And I think we'd want to check out some of the town, some of the shops, and maybe ask around if maybe anybody has seen anybody suspicious.
And at the first second that that Rex and I are like nobody's looking directly at us, I'll like kind of tap him in the arm, like kind of a punch, like yeah, we're dummies.
But it was a good night. Kind
Too,
of.
too good.
It was a good morning. I'm not sure about the night.
Amen.
But I must take some responsibility for the shenanigans from last night. Perhaps perhaps I was inadvertently the cause of this, and I should know better.
That pixie dust never works. I've never seen a dwarf fly with it anyway.
It worked. It just had unintended consequences.
It always does.
Indeed.
And I chime in. Just wait till you tell him that's the last of it.
All right. Yeah, I guess Greybeard would be like, good riddance.
Yeah. So Charles is just gonna clap his hands like it's all gone, and he's gonna get up and he's gonna head toward the stable.
Okay, so you're just going to head out to the stable that's next to the inn?
Yeah. Just to talk with the keep there and see how much it costs, how many are there, that sort of thing.
Jarral, do you mind if I tag along?
As
I
long
could
as-
use some fresh air after being in the cell all night.
And Greybeard will hang in the inn and nurse his hangover with lots of bacon and porridge and whatnot.
And more ale.
Probably not.
And I'm gonna join Greybeard, but I'm gonna eat the same type of food, but I'm gonna have some more ale.
All right.
Okay. Jarl's gonna remark to Rex that I'm not sure how much better the horse stable is going to smell, but you're more than welcome. Just no surprises. It's too early.
You have my word.
He nods.
Yeah, for any of you that are drinking extra ale, it'll just be 3 copper per however many mugs you decide to have. And then again, breakfast was 1 silver for any of you that had breakfast. So Edrim, let's have the camera shift. You've gone up to your room. We haven't seen this yet. So tell us a little bit about this ritual and what it looks like and how it works, and what do we see as Edrim starts to perform this spell?
Mostly it's just a meditative trance. And Edrim doesn't formally follow any religion, but he would favor Saloon and Fae spirits, probably most of all. And so he spends a few minutes kind of collecting himself. And then he asks Saloon to help him find this bandit known as the Weevil.
Okay. Yeah, and it looks like so you use up the incense that you have. What is the sacrificial offering that you are providing for the spell?
I probably have some rare tree seeds, and he will sacrifice those.
Okay. All right. I will send you your answer here in just a moment then. And then we will switch over to, it was at Jarral and Rex. We're heading over to the stable.
Yeah.
Okay. So you guys approach the stable and you see like a 12-year-old who's got a pitchfork and he's moving some of the hay. It looks like he's getting rid of some of the older hay and then kind of fluffing up the newer hay, and he's bringing in hay. There's a cart there that has what looks to be like newer hay, and he's kind of replacing some of it as you guys walk up.
As we approach, I say, "Hey!"
All right, yeah, he kind of turns around and sees you, and he gives you a nod. He says, "Yes, my lord."
Me mates here and I have come to acquire a few horses. We were curious to know the pricing.
Well, there are only a couple here that you could purchase a few of these riding horses. And he says, Astera sells them, and I think a riding horse is like, is it 25 gold? Let me look it up. It'd be whatever's in the player's handbook.
Since I'm in the inn, I can grid it if you want.
Yeah.
Where is this Estera, if I may ask?
Riding horse, 75.
Oh, okay. Yeah, so 75 gold. Okay. And he kind of looks at you weird, and he's like, "You didn't talk to her first at the inn?"
Oh, is that... Wait. She owns the stable?
Yeah, you can see that it's attached to the inn.
Yeah, I didn't... So I got the impression from talking with her that there was somebody else running the stable.
She owns it.
Because I thought I asked her about the horses, and she said to go check the stable out when they're open in the morning.
Well, right. She didn't know which ones were there or which ones had been bought. I mean, the boy.
So he's the one that's running the stable? Okay.
Well, it's her stable.
Right.
He's the one that's there working inside it.
Okay.
So, yeah, he tells you 75 gold.
Alright. So Jarral will chuckle and say, "Oh, so you are the one who runs the stable, while Astera..." Crap. I wrote her name down. Astera. So we just Zastra. Well, she is tending the inn.
Oh, I'm sorry. What was the question?
Yeah, just so you are the man who's running the stable while Arzestra.
Yeah, he kind of puffs
for the
himself
inn?
up and beams a little bit and says, "Well, I mean, I wouldn't say I run it, but I work here.
You say 75 gold pieces per horse.
For the couple that we have currently, there's only just a few. The other horses here are from the merchants.
How many is...
Go ahead.
how many is a few?
And he kind of leads you into the stable area. And there's like rows of stalls. And he brings you over to what appears to be 3 horses. And he says, these are extra horses that we could... that could be sold. None of the merchants have come to buy them yet this morning, although a lot of times they do before they head out. They'll buy extra horses. So you might want to be quick.
Okay. And, sorry, what was his name again? Or did he get it?
You never asked it. Nope.
Okay. I see. So what do we call you? Big man.
Oh, my name's Braben.
Braben?
And what is your name with the funny skin color?
He he just smiles and it says, "My name is Jarral Baleg. Pleased to make your acquaintance. So if we were to negotiate pricing, would we negotiate with you or with Arzastra?"
Oh yeah, if you want to pay less than the price, it would have to be talking to Azestra. She wouldn't let me make any deals on the side.
I appreciate your honesty and your integrity.
And you kind of see him look over to you, Rex, and he's like, "Aren't you the one that was just arrested?"
As he says that, I pat Jarl on the shoulder and say, "All right, Jarl, it's time to go." And I turn around and start walking back to the inn.
And he'll just leave the kid with a thought. If he was just arrested, what would he be doing here? And then he turns and thank you for your time, and walks back in toward the, I guess, I'm assuming the inn's at kind of the edge of the village.
Well, it's connected to the stables. Like it's like an L shape, so the inn is part of the L, and then
Yeah,
the
but
stables is a part.
that building is part of like the edge of the town or the edge of the village.
No, it's more like towards the middle.
Oh, all right. All right. Well, he's Jarl's going to. So Rex is heading back to the inn.
Yes.
Okay. So I will catch up with you later. I'm going to check out some of the shops. So Jarl's just gonna take a look at some of the shops. I guess he's gonna look to see if there's a map shop, and he's gonna hit that. He'll check out just a general store, potion store, just kind of the usual places that he would frequent. And he'll ask about any dwarves that might have passed through.
Okay. So you just kind of head off into the town area, and then...
Actually, you know what? Before we do that, I'd like to ask the kid that. So before I've left, so he'll, after saying that, leaving him with that thought, say, by the way, perhaps you might have seen something, since you seem to value honesty. We are looking for a suspicious traveler, perhaps a druid, that may have passed through here in the past couple of months. Maybe he worked in the kitchen.
Yeah, and you see him kind of think, and he's like, how do you describe the person again?
Oh man, how do we describe the person? So I'm going to describe him as I saw him on the wanted poster. Actually, do I have the wanted poster, or does that somebody else have that? I don't think I have it. So I'm going to go from memory and just describe the wanted poster image.
Okay. And yeah, you kind of see him. He's listening to you, and then let's see. All right. Yeah. So out of the corner of your eye, just at the last moment, you see a shadow jumping from the rafters and was looking to get the jump on you, but you caught the movement just enough and landing next to you onto the ground, not actually hitting you. You see a dwarf with crazed eyes, a little confused and off balance because he thought he was going to be able to kind of get you from behind, but you were able to see him and just make one sidestep. And Jarral, go ahead and roll initiative.
Oh, snap!
Jarral finding the dwarf.
Oh, man. All right, so... crap. Jarral's going to yell...
You need to roll initiative.
And I need... Where's... I don't... where is it? There it is.
And then I'm going to roll... Oh, actually...
15?
Okay. Oh, 21.
Nice.
So... Weevil... Oh, I was wrong. 21. And then... Okay, so Weevil's 21, and you were 15. I'll add that. All right. So let's get that out of the way. Get this up so I can see it. Get this out of my way. Okay. So yeah, he's going to come right at you. And what you see is, let's give you a description here. Do we have a description? That would be, let's see what they say he's wearing.
What are you wearing?
So, wow, they don't really give that description. So we'll just go off of, he's wearing what looks to be like studded leather. He has 2 hand axes, 1 in each hand. He has a very desperate look in his eye. And he's got like hay in his hair, and it's obviously he's been hiding up in the hayloft as he has jumped down to engage you.
So it's like a feral dwarf.
So he's going to make some melee attacks. So let's see. So first one... 12. Should miss as the hand axe kind of swings by. Second one. 16.
That misses as well.
Okay, so hand axe number 2 swishes by. You're kind of ducking and weaving. And then the third one. 15, so also misses. So trying desperately, slightly off balance from jumping down from the hayloft, not able to quite get you under his axes as he's slowly kind of blocking the door. He's kind of between you and the door and swinging wildly with quite a bit of might. But this is all of them, so it is Jarl's turn.
Am I in the stable or?
Yeah, you're inside. We're talking to the.
Okay.
You were talking to the boy, and the boy has kind of fell down on his butt, is beginning to kind of scrabble away. He's dropped the pitchfork and is trying to move away from the melee that's happening all of a sudden. But he's not faster than either one of you. So you were
Okay.
up.
So I did yell for Rex, hoping that he was still within earshot after leaving. He's gonna tell the boy to go to the inn, get help. And he's going to use his scimitar. No, he's not. He's gonna use unarmed. And he's gonna use, let's see, 2 attacks. Yeah, he's gonna use. Hold on, I'm not used to doing this without my. Let me see if this works. Oop, that's not gonna work. What is happening here? Stop. Everything's gone nuts here.
Daleks.
Oh, Lord. I'm trying to drag myself on. There we go. Holy crap. Alright, so I've attacked twice.
So I've seen one of them. Yeah, the 21.
One
I've
of
seen
them?
the first.
Okay,
I haven't
so
seen
let
the
me
second
roll
one
the
yet.
other one.
All right. So yeah, two attacks. So those will hit.
Okay. And let's see, I want to use okay, so I'm going to use Stunning Strike. I'm going to spend a key point. And I can so I'll with my fists, the second punch will just kind of, I'll use my palm and hit him like right in the chest. And he needs to succeed on a Constitution saving throw of 13 or be stunned until the end of my next turn.
Okay. He gets as a dwarf. He's got an ability here. So let's switch this over. Where's the toggle? Advantage toggle. There it is. Don't whisper rolls. You guys should be able to see them. Never whisper. There we go. Auto roll damage. Yeah. Okay, so that's all set. All right. So yeah, on Constitution saves, he's going to get advantage. So we'll roll that. But we'll see. Oh, and then it didn't roll advantage. Why is that? Oh, because I rolled initiative. That was wrong. Sorry. Constitution.
It's all right. Get rid of those high rolls out of the way.
Yep. 14.
14 does make it.
Oh, okay. So he just barely, like by a point, right? So
Yeah.
you see him, and it hits him in the chest, and he lets out a air, and actually you can tell that he's having a hard time breathing, and he kind of shakes his head a little bit. He takes a half a step from the strike hitting him in the chest, but you kind of realize quickly that it hasn't quite paralyzed him like you thought it would. And it's probably due to that his studded leather chest was just a little too much for your blow to hit through.
Okay, so I'm going to spend another key point and use Flurry of Blows, and this will make 2 additional unarmed strikes as a bonus action.
Okay.
Let's get rid of those. That's 2. And
Yeah, 1 miss and 1 hit.
okay. And I'll yell again for Rex.
Okay. So, Rex, you can probably, let's see. I will say you get at a disadvantage because you're walking into the inn. You have the door open. The noise from the inn is kind of hitting you right at the time this is happening. So you have a perception check with disadvantage, but you still have a chance to hear the yell.
Ooh.
Yeah, you hear it. Yeah, so you hear your name, and even though the sounds of the inn, you hear Jarral yell your name. Is about as much as you make out.
The moment I hear that, I stop going into the inn, and I start heading back to the stables.
Okay.
And then he said he yelled it twice, so I would start walking the first time. When he said it the second time, I would start running.
Yeah. Okay. We're gonna go through one more round, and then I'm gonna have you roll initiative, and then you'll be able to move your movement according to where it falls in the initiative roll. All right.
Got it.
So again, the weevil's still blocking your path to the door. The boy is backed up into the corner at this point. There's not really. He's kind of looking around, and then he's looking towards the window, and he's going to try to go out the window. The dwarf has the door blocked at this point, standing kind of in front of it, and then makes some attacks towards Jarral once again. So hand axes flying out. Oh, these are not advantage, so these are regular. 16.
That misses.
Normal. And then the second one swings 12.
That misses
and then
as well.
Third one swings 17.
That hits. Well, if it matches my AC, then it hits, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So 7 slashing damage from the third hand axe strike, as you're quite not able to dodge away. All right, it is your turn.
All right. So Jarl is going to he is going to attempt. All right, so he doesn't see Rex yet, so he's going to again attack. Do it unarmed. Ooh, snap.
So the first one, it looks like you're about to hit him, and then he moves his axe in the way, and you end up hitting the flat part of the blade of the axe. But the second one is definitely a crit hit. So yep, that's a hit.
Okay.
For
Oh,
10.
my lord. 2. Okay, and I'm gonna spend another key point and try stunning strike again.
Okay.
And that's a con save of 13.
Yeah, so this time is not able to, tries to dodge out of the way, but the blow hits hard enough that, and go ahead and do you have stunning strike so it can go into the chat?
Yeah. All right, so again, the first time it didn't work. Second time, I take a deep breath on the second hit, and again, I use my palm and try and focus a little more, and just kind of disrupt his ki enough that he's stunned.
Yeah, so he is stunned. Rex, you can roll initiative now for this next round. It appears you are still slightly woozy from the amount of drinking you did with Greybeard the night before. Actually, Jarl, you still have whatever, if there was anything else you were going to do on your turn there.
So now that I see Rex,
You don't quite see him yet. You have a
I'm
stunned
sorry.
dwarf standing in front of you.
okay, so it's still my turn.
Yeah, because you did your 2 attacks, and then you still had
Yeah,
bonus
so
action or movement.
I don't think I want to. I don't think I have a bonus action that I want to use. Yeah, so I don't have any other action this turn. No movement.
Okay. So we're back to the top of the round. He is stunned, not able to move. He's wheezing and breathing heavy. Which brings us back around to Jarral.
Okay, now do I see Rex?
Probably over his shoulder,
Okay.
maybe coming
So-
around the corner of the building.
Okay, then I'm going to attempt to grapple and restrain him.
Okay.
Is that like an automatic success since he's stunned, or is that
No. Stunned. Let's look up the condition here.
I think it says that they can't basically do anything. I think any attack. Well, no, I guess any attack's not an automatic crit. That would be silly.
No, attack rolls against him, you have advantage.
Advantage. Alright, so I got to roll.
But he will
advantage on it?
fail, but he's not making a strength or dexterity saving throw. So that won't count. A stunned creature is incapacitated, can't move, and can speak only falteringly. The creature automatically fails a strength or dexterity saving throw. The problem is with grapple, it's an opposed. It's not a saving throw, it's like an opposed check. So he uses athletics or
Strength.
against your roll. So it's basically a roll off to. He can still. He's stunned, like he's not able to really attack you, but it's not like he's petrified stone. You know what I
Okay.
mean? So he's able to still try to shrug off you grabbing him and just, holding him in like a bear hug kind of thing. Or in some type of, like a arm lock or an arm bar or a choke or something like that. He's still able to try to just wiggle out of that.
Okay. Now
But he can't move anywhere. He can't go anywhere.
Okay. For grapple, then do I roll strength or dexterity?
No, for you get to choose. We always have to look it up. That's
Yeah.
conditions grappled. But what about the rule? I'm pretty sure you get to choose between athletics or... Where's Greybeard? Because he probably knows. Let me grab that player's handbook real quick.
Alright, so using at least one free hand, you try to seize the target by making a grapple check instead of an attack roll. A strength check contested by the target's strength or dexterity. So I have to roll a strength check.
Okay. Yep. Yeah, because they can decide to either try to overpower you or they can try to use their athleticism to kind of wiggle out of it. Whereas you're just trying to do a straight, I'm grabbing you and holding you kind of move.
Okay.
So, okay.
Do I get advantage and he gets disadvantage on this?
This is not according to the condition
Okay.
because it's not an attack roll. It's not saving throws. I mean, if you don't do anything to him, he can't go anywhere either.
Yeah, we're gonna waste the turn. All right, so my strength is -1. So
Oh, okay. That's okay. I haven't been rolling very good, so let's see. This would just be a normal, not advantage, athletics. Oh, yeah. So,
what was that you were saying?
yeah. It won't matter. He's stunned. He can't do anything. So the scene that we see is he doesn't have any breath. Like he's lost all the wind in his lungs and he's trying to suck air in, but it's just not working. And you reach out to grab him by like his collar, and as you're doing that, his other hand is just like slapping it away, trying to keep it off, and he just kind of pushes your hand up off of the armor. And though he can't really go anywhere or he can't really attack you in any way, he's able to get your hand to let go of the cuff of his armor that you had grabbed as you tried to grab onto him. So you still have bonus action or movement at that point.
Okay. I mean, I don't want to move anywhere, so I'm gonna stay where I am. Do I see any other possible exit? I think you mentioned a window, right?
Yeah, there are several windows in the stables.
Is there one near him?
He's standing right at the door.
Right, Rex is blocking the door.
No, Rex is not blocking the door yet.
Well,
You see him like over his shoulder coming around the building.
Okay, so I'm going to assume he will be in the doorway. So I just want to block any other way that he might be able to run out.
Yeah, there's several windows along the L shape of this stable area, so you can pick left or right.
I'll position myself between him and the closest window.
Okay. So Rex, what you see as you come around the side of the building is the back of a dwarf who looks like he's got quite a bit of hay stuck in his hair and some of it in his arm. He's got 2 axes out. He just over his shoulder, you can see Jarral, who has weapons. Or no, he's got no weapons out, right? So Jarral's barehanded at this point, and is in the kind of the darkness of the stable. It's not really dark, but like there's a light shift. You don't see the boy anywhere, and as you come around now to the front of the door into the stables is 30 feet.
From where I'm standing?
Yeah, as you come around the corner.
Okay, I'm going to run up basically full force right into the door and block it. Because I can see Jarral on the other side of him, right?
Yeah, you can kind of see him on the other side. The door is all the way open and against the wall of the stable, and the dwarf is standing in the doorway as if he's trying to keep Jarral from leaving, is what it seems like to you.
Okay, I'm gonna run like right at him and try to block him from leaving and kind of like surround him with Jarral.
Okay, so how close do you get to him?
I'd probably get right up behind him.
So within the 5 feet? Okay.
Yeah.
All right, so you use your movement to move 30 feet up. You're behind him. He doesn't seem to react to you at all.
I think I've stunned him.
Can I try and grapple him?
Sure. So you can do a strength roll against his athletics.
Oh, actually, I'm sorry. No, he's not stunned anymore.
Oh, because it's at the end of your turn.
My turn.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, so he's no longer stunned. But yeah, he's still not reacting to you yet. His eyes are on Jarral at the moment. He's not noticed you come up behind him.
Okay, yeah, I'm just gonna try and grapple him.
All right, yeah, go roll for it. Ooh, that looks good. 19 strength. Let's see what I can do. Oh yeah, you're able to grapple him. All right. So you have him grappled. So let's do this. I'll read off the conditions of grapple, and then we will take a quick 5-minute break, and we will come back and see what happens here. So a grappled creature, this is what happens, Rex. So he can't move away from you. The condition ends if you become incapacitated. And it will also end if he can try to break away. And so that's all. So he just can't move from you is all.
Okay, as I grapple him, I'll say, Jarral, grab the other half of him.
So while he's grappled, can I restrain him?
The grappling is trying to restrain, basically.
Like, you know what? I don't have any rope. Crap.
Yeah, he wants to force the restrained condition. Yeah, that's a little different.
Yeah, you can. The grappler can try to do a pin. So Rex could try to do a pin on his next turn to see if he could get him to go prone, and then like pin him to the ground, kind of thing.
Oh,
But there's nothing. Two people grappling the same person's not going to do anything.
Yeah, Cheswick's student is right. You have to have the grappler feat to try to
Yeah.
restrain someone.
Okay. So, all right. So, are we gonna do a break or? Continue?
Yeah, so what we have, just ending out the scene as we go to our 5-minute break, is we have Rex kind of reaches around him in a bear hug. The dwarf is trying to shake his shoulders, but he's not able to shake him off and move away. He still can try to attack Jarral or Rex because they're still within 5 feet of him. And then when we come back, we will see what ends up happening as we start at the new round, top of the new round, with the Weevil's turn. So don't go anywhere. We'll see how this pans out. We'll be back in about 5 minutes.
Sweet.
All right, we are back to the top of the round as we have a small fight happening in the stables. And we have Rex holding on to the Weevil from behind, Jarral blocking the window exit near him. And the Weevil feels cornered, so he's just going to try to fight his way out, I guess. So he is going to try to... I think he would try to attack the guy who's got a hold of him. So he's just going to try to swing his axes at Rex as he kind of twists and turns. You've still got a hold of him so he can't move away from you, but he's kind of repositioned his body to... he's kind of got his shoulder to your chest, and he's bringing the axes around to try to hit you. So axe number 1, swinging out at you. Let's make sure these are just normal. Yep, just normal. First one's a 12. That should bounce off your armor. Second one, he tries to swing at you a 20.
That is a hit.
So 9 slashing damage, and then the third one, only 11. So you're able, because you've got a hold of him, as the other one's swinging around, you kind of push his arm, and it makes it so it just stops it, kind of locks it before it can actually make a hit, because you're so close to him. And he's trying to shake his shoulders, and he's trying to move, but you've got a hold of him. He can't really go anywhere. And it is Jarral's turn.
All right. Jarral is going to pull out his scimitar, and he's going to suggest you should relax, quit squirming. There's nowhere to go. Just stop fighting and give yourself in.
All right, so you're going to try... That sounds like persuasion to me more than intimidation. So yeah, go ahead and give me a persuasion check.
Is that an action?
No,
is
it's
this
just a check. Yeah, he kind of, as he's keeping his eyes on Rex, out from the corner of his eyes, you can hear him. Do you understand Dwarf?
I do not.
Yeah, he says something that you're pretty sure is some type of racial slur.
Very well.
And as he struggles against Rex.
Jarral, you bring out the best in everyone.
Right?
Yeah, so 2 more hits on him.
Oh, my lord. And I'll spend another key. And you know what? I'm not going to go for Stunning Strike this time. I'm just going to go for Flurry of Blows. So that's another 2 more unarmed attacks. So I'll swipe with the blade, hit both times, and then turn around and swing with my open hand, punch him, attempt to punch him, and then with the other use the pommel of the sword. So the sword misses.
Yep.
But I do land a blow.
All right, yeah, so he's definitely got... I mean, you've been hitting him all over. He does not seem... Because they're all mostly strikes, you can tell he's being hurt, but you don't see any outward... You know, it's not like he's bleeding anywhere or anything like that. It's just you're striking in the body, ribs and things are being cracked or... not necessarily broken, but probably fractured. And he's still struggling as much as he can. Any movement? You use your bonus action.
That, I think, was my bonus action.
Okay.
Yeah,
Rex.
that was my bonus.
So you got a hold of this guy, this dwarf. He's pretty strong. What's your strength?
16.
Yeah. So being somebody who is a very strong person yourself, you can tell this dwarf is fairly strong also, but you feel like you have a little bit of the upper hand on him. Like you feel like you've got just a little bit more muscle mass than he does. But he's still struggling. He's in your grapple. What would you like to do?
I'd like to try and pin him. Basically knock him prone.
Okay. So we'll do another... so he's going to try to not let you do that. He's going to use athletics to try to wiggle his way out. So you would do a strength, use your raw strength to push him to the ground to pin him, and he's going to try to wiggle out of that if he can. Ooh, good rolls, Rex. Yeah, it goes right on down this time. He's off balanced, he's wounded, and you're able to just put his shoulders right to the ground.
I have a Dungeoneer's pack, so I have some rope on my side.
Mm-hmm.
So as I pin him down, I'm going to say, Jarral, grab the rope on my back, pin him, tie his legs.
Okay.
Aye.
Yeah. So one last gasp here. It's his turn. I think the only thing he's going to try to do is break free from your grapple. If he doesn't, then I'm just going to let... then we're going to say that Jarral's going to be able to grab the rope and begin to tie him up as you have him pinned down. If he breaks free, we'll see what happens. So we'll do one last check. It's going to be your strength holding him down and pinning him. He's going to try to break free using his athletics, which is his good stat. So one more opposed check here as he tries to break away from your grapple as you have him pinned on the ground. So here's his. Ooh, 18. Oh, okay. So in a desperation, you can see his eyes are in just total, like, cornered animal, foaming at the mouth, complete fear and anger all at the same time, and he's able to roll to the left, which breaks your hold. He has to use his half of his movement to stand, so he's not really going to get anywhere. And he's just he's fighting like a cornered animal, so he's going to try to swing once at Jarral and twice at Rex, as he is able to break free and stand inside the stables. You guys notice that the boy is kind of in the back, in the corner, just staying out of the way. Like there's not any room for him to move past this big melee that's happening in the doorway here. So first act's over. He tries to just wildly swing at Jarral for a 10, missing, and then tries to do a backhand swing and a second swing towards Rex. So first one.
He can attack after getting up from being prone?
Yeah. Yep. 21.
That is a hit.
So
Wouldn't the action of breaking free of the grapple or the pin be an action? I mean, it's not like he's just standing up. He's got to...
let's see. Oh, yeah, he can use his action to escape, which he's done. Let's see. Yeah, he's only going to get one because he's not going to get his other attacks.
Yeah, and standing up just costs you half your movement.
Yeah, so he's only going to get one of those. So he's not going to hit you, Rex. He's only going to get one wild swing and miss.
Okay.
He's not going to get his 3 swings. Okay. Yeah, so Jarral, he's not... Rex is in the door. He's kind of got his back against the wall. You're kind of standing in between him and the window.
Okay, I'm going to attack him again.
Okay.
Wow.
2 misses.
That's crazy. And I don't think I have... immediately after I take the attack action... Okay, I can still use Flurry of Blows. I'm just taking that one off. Alright, so I'll spend another key on Flurry of Blows to make 2 unarmed strikes as a bonus action. Man.
Wow.
2 more
That's
misses.
garbage.
4 misses? That's ridiculous.
Yeah. You're still within 5 feet of him, but you would have your movement if you want.
Rex is still behind him, in the doorway? Or blocking the door?
Yes.
Okay. No, I'm just gonna... That's my turn.
All right. Rex, so you see the dwarf has kind of backed his back up against the wall. He's swinging wildly. Still eyes are crazed like a caged animal. What do you do?
I'm just gonna try and tackle him down to the ground this time.
So another grapple?
Yeah.
All right, so let's do a grapple. So strength versus athletics. Uh-oh. Oh, no. So he sidesteps away, and you kind of... you don't quite crash into the wall that's right behind him, but your shoulder hits it as your hand just grasps his armor, but then he shifts and it pulls out of your hand. He's able to just wiggle free, and you see him looking towards the doorway.
I'm gonna use action surge.
Okay.
And I'm gonna try and grapple him again.
All right, so another action. Okay. You were determined. 20.
Oh, Jesus.
He is wily. You are not able to get a hold of, like, he's realized your trick from before where you grabbed him from behind, and he's doing everything he can to not let you grab hold of him. All right. So are you going to move or are you going to stay right there? You're still within 5 feet of him.
I'm gonna move and try and block him from running out the door again.
Yeah, you can shift yourself around as you can see he's looking at it, but you're able still to kind of maneuver your body between him and the doorway with your movement. All right, so we get to the top of the round. He's just going at it. So 1 axe towards Jarral.
Okay.
For a 19, 5 slashing, and 2 for Rex. 24 for 7 slashing, but the 10 would miss. So we see the axe flash out and draw a tiny bit of blood from Jarral's shoulder, and then the axe swings over and hits you in the thigh, Rex. And then as the third one is swinging, he's trying to hit you in the head. You're able to bat it away with your hand as you use kind of the vambrace of your armor to block it away.
Can I use my reaction and use the riposte?
Yeah.
Ability, and I'm gonna try to make a hit on him. I'm just gonna try and square punch him in the face.
Yeah. Can you put the text in the chat so that way chat can see what you're doing too? Do you have that written down?
I can copy and paste it.
Yeah, that'd work. I was wondering about that. It says a melee weapon attack.
Isn't he using a melee weapon?
You have not drawn your weapons yet.
Does the fist not count as melee weapon?
That's count as unarmed attack.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That's the same thing, though, isn't it?
No, yours as a monk counts that way, but it's not the same for everybody else. Yeah, it says specifically melee weapon attack back. So it's assuming you use your weapon to block his weapon and then immediately strike him with your weapon again. Is what that is.
Okay. I'll just hold position then and try to block him from running out.
Okay. So Jarral is up.
All right. He's going to take another couple of swings.
Yeah, he's definitely winded. The 26 would hit. He's not quite able to block that for 7. He's looking very woozy now. Kind of almost stumbles a step.
All right, Charles
struck?
gonna kind of grunt under his breath, like, "Where is that child?" And he's going to swing again. Just like before, he's gonna come back with his open hand. And,
Oh, you're spending another key point?
Yep.
Okay.
And so 1 hits for 6.
All right.
And I think I can use. Stunning Strike. Yeah. So I can spend another key point and use Stunning Strike. So he has to do a con save of 13.
Actually, with that strike, you hit him in the side of the head, and he crumples.
Oh. Perfect. I told you to give in.
As he falls down, I'm gonna rush him and throw one end of the rope to Jarral and try and start tying him up.
Yeah, I'll
Okay.
help with that for sure.
Okay. Yep. So you guys have the rope out, and you begin to tie him up, or you complete tying him up. So you have him tied up.
Okay, we're gonna triple knot that just in case.
Okay.
Okay. I don't think we should cause a commotion in the village. Perhaps either you or I should go back to the inn and get the others.
I agree.
Actually, we don't know that this is the Weevil, right? He just attacked us.
Well, I
Uh,
did see that drawing of him. Does he look similar to the drawing that was on the wanted poster?
I mean, it was a crude drawing. He's obviously a dwarf. But it's hard to say. The drawing was not like of somebody that had seen him very well. It was more of somebody just drawing a dwarf.
Gotcha.
Okay. Did you see a child run out of here as you were coming back from the inn?
No, I did not.
But Braden's in the back of the stable.
Oh, I thought he ran out when I told him to go to the inn and get
No,
help.
there was nowhere for him to run out.
Oh, okay. All right. My mistake. Okay. Then so Jarl's gonna ask the Braben, right?
Yep, Braben.
Yeah, Braben, do you recognize this dwarf?
Yeah, and his eyes are super wide, and he looks absolutely scared. And he's just like, I don't know where he came from. Why did he attack you? What did you do?
Can I roll an insight check on him?
I was about to say the same thing.
Yep, you both can. Yeah, Jarl, you don't see any deception from him. Rex, you're not getting a read. You're not really sure.
I believe that this is the man that we are looking for, or the
Don't you mean the dwarf?
the quarry, yeah, that we are looking for.
6 of one, half a dozen the other.
Right. Short man.
Wouldn't it be if it was 6 of 1? He would be a 3.
He's half a man,
Yeah.
half a dozen.
Ooh. Racists, yo, racist.
I'm a idist.
Can only assume that this is who we are looking for. He only came down when I was asking about the weevil, just after you had left, Rex. Should again, I don't think we should cause any distractions in the village, but perhaps one of us should go get the others and bring them to the stable.
Aye, indeed we should.
Okay. Who wants to do that? Do you want to do that, or you want me to do that?
Why don't you go grab the others? I'll stay here and make sure he doesn't try to escape again.
Okay. Don't get arrested. And Jarral will head back to the inn.
I'll just smile as he says that.
And he's gonna tell Braven to stay there, and he's gonna head back to the inn. He's gonna run back to the inn. Not panicky run, but just kind of a jog back to the inn, and look for the rest of the group.
Okay. So we see Jarl run off. Rex, what do you do while Jarl runs off?
I'm just gonna double check the ropes to make sure that they're all tied up, and I'll probably prop him up against some support that I see, and then I'll check to make sure that Braven's all right.
Okay. So you're checking the ropes and you move him to prop him up, say, against the like one of the big wooden beams that hold up the ceiling in here next to one of the stalls. Go ahead and make a perception check. So you check the ropes, and then everything seems fine. Everything's fine here. Nothing to see. And you go over to Braven, and you can tell he's pretty freaked out. He's trying to avoid looking at the dwarf, and he's kind of goes to pick up his pitchfork again, and he's trying to keep a ways away from the dwarf. He's really seems to be freaked out by him.
Don't worry, lad. He won't be able to hurt anyone else anymore.
Hey, and he's looking at me. He says, "Yeah, he doesn't look good at all."
You said he picked up the pitchfork?
Yeah, that was the tool he was using to clean up the hay.
I'll just kind of touch the end of it and push it down a little bit and say, "There's no need for that. You can relax."
Yeah. He kind of looks at it and then looks at you, and then he's like, "Oh yeah," and he kind of, it's just he keeps it pointed towards the ground.
And then I'll just basically watch our captive individual, make sure he doesn't move or wake up or anything.
Okay. Jarl, you go into the inn, opening the door. The rest of our crew has probably not finished breakfast yet. So you guys see the door open as Jarl is highlighted by the sunlight that's outside. Each of you that are there can go ahead and make a perception check as he walks in.
Is Edrim still upstairs?
Yes, Edrim, you are still
Okay.
upstairs. All right.
When he comes in the room, I'll yell, "Jarral, not in jail yet?"
Yeah, so both of you don't really recognize anything. So yeah. So you just see Jarl come in, and all right. So go ahead, continue on.
I am not a dwarf. And he walks. Is everybody at the same table?
It's up
I
to
would
them.
imagine.
Okay. So Charles is going to approach the table purposefully and sit down at the table and ask where he's going to say, where is Edrim? I believe we may have found the weevil. We were just attacked in the stables by a dwarf. I believe this is who we are looking for. Right now Rex has him restrained and tied up. We should probably head out there to assess the situation.
At the point you said Weevil, Greybeard was already out of his chair.
At that point, too, the both of you, when he mentions that he was attacked, that's when you notice that he has a few cuts on him and is bleeding into his some of his clothes.
I'm headed out towards the stable.
And I'll follow. Jarral, Edrim's upstairs. Should we get him first?
You go. I will get him.
Okay.
And
I will
up
head off
to-
after Greybeard then.
I'll
Okay.
head up to get Edrim.
All right, so you knock on Edrim's door, but no response.
Edrim, are you there?
No response.
I don't have any lockpick skill whatsoever. My strength is an 8.
The door looks quite stout.
Yep. Can I charm the door with my personality? Please open.
Yeah, it does not respond.
No, I guess it wouldn't.
You think every now just you hear the slight rustle or maybe even deep breathing if you're trying to really listen, but there's no response to the door.
Okay. I'm going to take a piece of mapping paper. I think I have some. Yeah, I have parchment. I'm going to take some parchment and I'm going to write on it in common, I assume, since he speaks it, that Edrim can read it. That to come to the stables may have found Weevil Jarral. And I'm going to slide it under the door.
Okay.
And then I'm going to head back.
All right, so Ardreth and Greybeard, you guys go tromping into the stables. Rex, you hear footsteps, clinking of armor or of gear, and then you see your two companions come in through the doorway.
So,
Greetings, gents.
So, this is the Weevil.
Or at least we think it is.
And then you guys can do a perception check when you get inside the stables as you're looking at the Weevil. Yeah, I think. Yeah, I think both of you might notice that you don't think he's breathing.
What are you even doing to this man? I'll take a look at him up close.
Yeah, you can do when you get close, you recognize that he is dead.
What?
Nice, guys.
Well, it did
Rex.
say dead or alive, didn't it?
I hope so.
You can see a few, mostly bruising. You don't really see like weapon marks on him. He was wearing studded leather. Is a dirty, disheveled kind of dwarf who had a bunch of hay in his hair, stuck in some of his armor as if he was hiding in the hay. And yeah, is slowly turning cold, not breathing.
So I thought when we killed the monster that they were assumed unconscious. I mean, obviously, most of them are going to be dead, but I mean, if it's obvious that we're trying to capture one.
No, you have to mention like they're always going to be dead unless you say something like I'm going to use like non-lethal damage. So you have to kind of declare it for your attacks.
Okay, all right. I mean, I thought it was sort of obvious that that's what we were trying to do, but okay, that's fair enough.
I mean, at least he's still recognizable. We didn't, like, cut off his arm or burn him to death.
Yet.
Acid. Um, right then, I start pulling stuff out of my bag of holding to make enough weight for said dwarf. That way he won't rot.
Okay. So, yeah, did we ever say that the shoulders could get past the opening of the bag? Have we had somebody in the bag before?
Well,
I don't know.
It's 2 foot. It's 2 foot circumference, and it's 10 minutes worth of air inside a bag of holding.
Yeah, I'm just thinking the size to push him in is the thing
Yeah.
I'm thinking.
Okay.
2 feet, huh? That seems pretty big. Will that fit over your shoulders?
How big were the giant? How big were the giant things that we had been pulling out of for the different missions?
Well, I'm just thinking like the width of dwarven shoulders, that you're trying to like put a potato sack over, somebody's shoulders that are the size of like the Rock, even though he's only like 4 foot tall.
Yeah.
You know what
So I'm just gonna say that with my 3x frame, it's 50 some inches around my chest. So yeah, probably not.
Yeah. If it's like the kid,
or goblins, or
something small,
halflings.
halfling probably, but this is a dwarf, pretty stout. 15 strength, so he's definitely built and muscled. I want to be careful about how much stuff we're gonna let get just shoved into a bag. So I'm gonna say you start to try to push it over him, and you start to feel it fray a little bit, and it makes you worried that you don't want to damage the bag. That you're like, this is a little too close to trying to force it over him. Maybe you make a decision one way or the other, but it feels like if you try to force it, you might damage the bag.
I'm willing to chop him up or take just his head. What do you think, fellas?
Why don't we just carry him on someone's back?
He'll rot before we get back to where we need to go.
How far is it we need to go?
Water deep, supposedly. But we can teleport from...
No, you guys are going to Mirabar,
Yeah, okay.
which is probably less than a day.
Oh,
A day.
yeah, shouldn't be too bad then.
But
Yeah,
I
assuming you
think we
guys
can get him out.
don't get sidetracked with something else.
Yeah, Rex.
I just look completely confused and innocent.
All right. Okay, I'll be like, Ardreth, why don't you get on the sending stone and let Delphine know that we're coming inbound.
All right, I will give her a call.
And Edrim, how long does it take you to do that ritual?
Sure. Now the mic's on. 10 or 15 minutes probably.
Okay, yeah. So, so 10 minutes later, you come out of it. You had your answer, and as you go to move to the door, you see the paper on the floor. And Jarral, you've already gotten back to the stable at this point.
I pick up the paper, read it, and I walk out to the stable.
Okay. All right, you're all standing in the stable with a tied up dead dwarf and the Braben, the stable boy.
You're a good lad. We gotta go. Let's start off towards the airship.
Okay. who's doing what, or who's carrying what, or how's all that? Give me the logistics of that.
I'm assuming we never got a horse, right?
I don't think anybody's paid for a horse.
Okay.
No.
No.
I don't really care. I mean, I'll fireman carry him. I've got plenty of strength for it.
Okay. So we see Greybeard pick him up and huck him over your shoulder and then start walking off.
Yep.
Okay, so you guys see Greybeard start to head south out of town.
We'll follow.
Don't forget Edrim.
Yeah, we'll collect everyone and head to the airship.
Okay, so yeah, you guys, you're stopped by the guards. One of the first sets of guards that sees you, and then you're able to tell them that this was the person that you were shown that has the bounty, and they mentioned that they will tell Lord Carvin that you were able to capture him, and then you guys move off down to the south, and it's about an hour walk. Well, because you want to go a mile or two before the airship sets down. You guys see it off to the west of you, coming down over the hills, starts to drop out of the sky, and then comes in nice and low. And you see the rope ladders come rolling down as the big red ballooned skyship hovers above you about 15 feet off the ground or so. And you see Delphine wave over the side, and as you guys begin to climb up into your airship. All right. So you are on the deck of your airship. It's about midday.
And is it freezy cold out, or like refrigerator cold out?
It's definitely cold. It's in the wintertime. There's no snow out at the moment, but it's definitely probably, you're guessing like 40s.
All right.
Drops colder at night.
All right, Delphine. Well, I think we're headed to Mirabar.
She gives you a nod, and she heads back up to the big giant wooden wheel, and you hear again the sound of rushing air and heat, and the kind of like the creaking of the leathered balloon as it begins to ascend and gain altitude and begin to head northward.
I think we wrap the weevil up in like cloaks or whatever, blankets, bedrolls, something. And
they have extra blankets on the ship that you can use one of them to wrap them up.
And then secure him somewhere to the deck. So he's outside, so he stays cold, but no random sky rats or ship rats can really get to him to eat his face or anything.
Oh, you think so?
We'll watch.
All right, so you guys, we'll end it with a scene of all of you on the deck, the body secured up at the front, out of the way so that people can still work the ship and still stand in their lookout positions. You just see the Delphine at the helm, and then there's one in the crow nest, and then there's one up forward in the lookout position. And we see our group with our final scene on the deck of the ship. As you are gaining altitude, you can see Xantharl's Keep slowly fading behind you. How do you guys end it out for tonight's session?
I'm going to take a selfie with a dead body.
Nice. So I would need to rest after that ordeal. Where are we supposed to take this body at Mirabar? More to confirm than anything, because I don't have it handy where we're supposed to take this.
We look at the wanted poster.
Oh, I guess we have access to that, don't we? keep
Do
forgetting
you?
to
Did
hand
anybody
it.
grab it? Because I'm pretty sure you went right past it and decided not to grab it.
I wasn't sure if PB had grabbed it or not, or Ian. Sorry.
No, that the group that was in town where it was Rex, Jarral, Edrim, and Tovi.
PB, Ian had one. And because I think she said she gave it to us before she left.
Yep, she just said that in chat.
Oh yeah, let me look at Dars. Let's see what he's got. Because I wasn't thinking it was, but it could be. Let me check. Tribor. Dars. Yeah, he passes the information on to you guys, but you don't have a wanted poster. What he ended up telling you was that he wanted to capture the Weevil himself, but ended up not doing it, is what he told Ian. And since you guys saved the town in Tribor, he thought maybe if you happened to pass by Xantharl's Keep, you might look into it. Because he had seen a wanted poster also, and he had thought he might have seen the actual person, but he had never went after him to capture him.
Well, craters and crags. We'll figure it out when we get there.
Yeah, I'm sure it's not going to be that hard to find out where you turn it in. All right.
Okay. I know we had it. I just don't have it. I don't think I wrote it down. It was in the chat from last session. I know because it was. I scrolled up to read it, but it is gone now.
All right, so we'll go ahead and end our Monday night session on a final shot of a giant red balloon with a wooden ship underneath it sailing to the north through in the air. As the camera, we see that the airship continues to move forward and our camera begins to fade back, and as we fade to close, and that's where we will call tonight's session. And when we come back next Monday, we will see what the group's plan is, and we will see what happens and where they go next. So thanks for joining. If you want to check out any of our previous episodes, again, you can go to the twitch.tv/SirLucien channel, and that's Lucien, all one word. Or I also put them up on YouTube if you're a YouTube viewer and you want to check them out. Usually during the middle of the week, you can check that out at youtube.com/SirLucien. Keep an eye out if you want to find out about things that are upcoming on Twitter. You can find that at SirLucien Gaming, all one word. And other than that, I want to say thanks for joining. It looks like we had 7 or 8 people stop in. We had a lot of people in chat talking. I saw Citizen. I saw Tavern Sparrow. I saw Cheswick Student said he was catching up on our old episodes, which was awesome. Spammy was in there, I saw, but he was playing. Anybody else did I miss?
Tavern Sparrow.
Yep, I said Tavern.
Sonic played.
Oh, yeah, Sonic was in there, too. So those are some of the people that were talking in chat, which is always awesome. So we will catch you in the next episode. Thank you for joining. Bye-bye.
Later.